5 news events I'll be watching this week in the U.S. economy. So the first thing I'll be watching this week is the Fed. The Fed's meeting this week. So the Fed Open Market Committee is meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. So on Wednesday, we'll find out any adjustments to interest rates. I don't expect there to be any change. The market consensus at the moment is pointing towards no change. They'll hold rates the same, and I think that's true. That's quite likely. There's no reason to listen to me on that because I have a horrible track record on predictions. My crystal ball is terrible, it does not work. So there's no reason to believe what I say or my predictions. The second thing that I'll be watching this week is General Mills, the food company, is announcing their earnings. I look at that as one way to find out, hey, what's the consumer doing as far as food? Are they, purchasing products? Are they not? Are they pulling back? Those kinds of things. That helps us figure out kind of what's going on in the economy, and then also helps us figure out as far as like housing, what is going to happen around housing, because the general economy and economic conditions for sure affects housing. The next I'll be watching is FedEx. So FedEx has their announcement this week on earnings, and I view FedEx as, at least this is the way I think of it, kind of a good indicator of the whole U.S. economy because FedEx is, of course, nationwide. They're actually global, but they'll talk about in their earnings what they're seeing in the United States, and they'll talk about the world too. But are we shipping more packages, less packages? Kind of tells us how much U.S. consumers are buying from places like Amazon and other online retailers. The fourth thing that I'll be watching this week is Carnival Cruise Lines. They're actually going to announce their earnings. And Carnival, I find it interesting because it kind of, if they've had a good quarter, it tells us that people think that their economic future is probably okay. Like if you think you're going to lose your job, you're probably not going to book a cruise on Carnival. You're most likely going to, if you had one booked, you would most likely cancel it. So to me, if Carnival Cruise Lines shows good numbers and shows that they've made a good profit, then that kind of tells me that hey, people are thinking that as they look out into the future, especially out this spring, summer, and further out, that they think their economic outlook is pretty safe. And the fifth thing that I'll be watching this week is Lennar Homes has their quarterly earnings. So Lennar is a U.S. home builder, and it would be interesting to see, what they say is going on in housing construction, because that's kind of what I talk about a lot is housing, real estate investing, housing construction, those kinds of things. So I'll be watching Lennar to see what they say. Are they building bigger homes? Are they building smaller homes? Are they having to discount homes? Things like that. Are they offering discounts to be able to move homes that they couldn't previously move? Just things like that helps us figure out what is going on with the U.S. economy and housing also. So I also read an article this morning from Resi Club. It's a regular place that I get real estate news, and I'll link to it. There'll be a link to it somewhere here. So they had done a survey of about 650 Americans, the majority of which were in the housing market in some way. They were housing professionals, either builders, real estate agents, but mortgage lenders even. They were somewhere involved in housing. The majority were. There was about 15% that were not. They were just everyday citizens that were not necessarily involved in the housing market or not real estate professionals. But one of the questions that sparked my interest was, how concerned are you about housing affordability? And 84% were concerned. And I would have to agree with them. We have not built enough homes here in the U.S., and I think most everyone knows that. Most everyone is aware of that. To put some numbers behind that, and this is just my numbers. I didn't find these anyplace, but this is based off of what I knew from a few years ago, and I could probably back it up with some facts if I went out and found them again. But we have underbuilt housing in the United States since the Great Recession. So since the Great Financial Crisis of 2008, 9, and 10, we have underbuilt by about 400,000 per year, which leaves us today with a deficit of about 6 to 7 million houses. So we need 6 to 7 million more houses. I don't know how we're going to get there to get that. There's a lot of different opinions out there on it, but we just do not have enough houses. But it is an issue. It is. It causes a lot of affordability issues, and I would hate to be a lot of the younger generation trying to get into a house today with the inflation that we've seen, with this underbuilding so many houses for so long. It's just not a good situation to be in. I would hate it if I was a first time home buyer trying to get into the housing market, trying to get that first time home. But I always like to end these with a quote. So today's quote is: "If this will seem trivial to me 20 years from now, then why shouldn't I view it as trivial today instead of worrying about it as if it's a catastrophe?" So that's basically, don't don't sweat things. Everything is going to be gone at some point anyway, so worry less about it. So the quote is: "If this will seem trivial to me 20 years from now, then why shouldn't I view it as trivial today instead of worrying about it as if it's a catastrophe?" I hope that's helpful to you. If I can help you in any way, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Mike Williamson. I'm a real estate investor. I talk about real estate investing, the real estate industry, general economic news, and also personal finance. Y'all have a good day. I'll put Calendly links somewhere around the video. It's just according to where it's posted at, so you can book a call with me. Talk to you then.